Hello, this is part 2 of the series on shamanism, and we're going to be starting with the shaman and ecstasy. By the way, the word shaman is a term that is kind of lost in history, where the etymology of the word is pretty hard to know. It apparently comes from Siberian area, perhaps as far as Turkey. Various commentators are, well, they say different things, but in any case, we're going to start in with the shaman in ecstasy. By ecstasy, that's spelled E-C-S-T-A-S-Y. It means a trance state, an altered state of consciousness, something other than the normal state of consciousness. And this is key, because the shaman is the individual who can do just exactly that. So now, the shaman and ecstasy. Shamans are identified with ecstasy. Not all those who engage in ecstasy or trance states are shamans, of course, but the shaman's soul, while in the state of ecstasy or trance, is said to leave his body and ascend to the sky or descend to the underworld. To obtain shamanic vision, that knowledge and contact with the spirit world, a trance state is essential. The most experienced and respected shamans are able to enter into a trance or altered state of consciousness easily and quickly. Some means are to dancing, chanting, repetitive singing, hallucinogenic drugs such as ayahuasca, peyote, mushrooms, LSD, tobacco, smoke, alcohol, deep meditation or contemplation, sensory deprivation, sensory overload, or any of these in combination. Shamans have contact. Relationships is more accurate, perhaps, with spirits. A spirit may be the soul of a dead person, a nature spirit, a mythical or real animal, a god or goddess. There are many possibilities, and the spirits are there to be helpers to the shaman. Of course, what I'm describing is not my opinion of shamanism, but I'm describing actual shamanism, the way the shamans view it themselves. I want to talk next about shamans and their power. Shamans are said to control the spirits rather than being possessed by them, but that is not always true. I've read situations where the observers were quite certain that the shaman was being possessed. Now, this is the mark, though the control of the spirits is the mark of the practiced and mature shaman, but at times, in certain places, as I've said, shamans have been known to be under the control of a spirit. Control of a spirit means the shaman is able to communicate with the dead, the spirits, souls, demons, and more. And the dead are said to know everything, making the shaman a fortune teller as well. Shamanism also recognizes the reality of demonic or evil spirits, but are able, or so it is thought, to be unfazed by and uninfluenced by the bad spirits. Shamans are healers and have learned the secrets of working cures. In long periods of human history, the shaman, with his knowledge of healing techniques, perhaps through the application of various herbs, are the only medical practitioners available. Shamans are the elite in a tribe or a society due to their unique ability to manipulate the unseen world. The shamans are the mystic of any religion, those who are comfortable with the forces of the spirit. Shamans specialize in healings, as are the mystics of many religions. In a trance or ecstasy, the shaman is able to determine what the cause of an illness is and find the means for a cure. The shaman is the holy man who accompanies the dead to the realm of shades and serve as a mediator between them and their gods, celestial or infernal, greater or lesser. The shaman is the specialist of the human soul. He alone sees it and knows its identity. Shamans work with power, spiritual power specifically. They use the power derived from spirits and souls of the dead to achieve certain ends, such as healing of disease. But the power can be directed toward harmful or negative purposes as well. This is also said of the Santeros and Santeras and Babalaos of Santeria, and of the witches of neo-pagan religions like Wicca. Each and all of these are aware of the negatives, as they say, but as I would say, of the evil and demonic forces, and they pride themselves, or better, flatter themselves and say they are careful not to use the power they have for harmful purposes. Herein lies the heart of it. The assumption that there is a difference between the good and the bad, the angel and the demon, is very superficial and, in my view, a wrong concept. Shamanic sources of power. The list of the sources of shamanic power is so very like that of the Wiccans. Several of the books I consulted on shamanism might have been about neopaganism, particularly having to do with Wicca, and vice versa. The concepts are virtually identical, and this is best evident when speaking of the sources of the shaman's power. They are simple. 1. Power animals. 2. Spiritual teachers or guides. 3. Objects infused with power like a rattle, drum, or totem, etc. 4. The elements of nature like the four directions, north, south, east, and west, or the basic elements, fire, water, earth, and air. All of these have their counterpart in Wicca, for instance. The shaman acquires animal helping spirits, spiritual teachers, dead or living, souls of the dead, often more than one, and these teach how to access power or directly provide power to the shaman. Rattles or drums may be used to summon spirits, and the directions and the elements which are alive and have power can be appealed to as well. Power animals, maybe an eagle, a coyote, a deer, a horse, a fish. These and others can transport the shaman to the other world. This is done in trance, and the shaman will often have on his person something that symbolizes the animal that is his animal helper or spirit, like a feather, or from a coyote, if that is the animal spirit that's painted on a garment that is worn by the shaman doing ritual. Some shamans have as a fetish a stick horse they will ride in dances. The representation of an animal has power in itself which can be drawn upon. Then the teachers and spiritual guides are often turned to for the power. These may include 1. Ancestor spirits or souls. 2. Elders in the community. 3. Mythical or legendary characters, including Greco-Roman gods and goddesses. 4. Local deities. 5. Celebrities, living or dead. 6. Aliens from outer space. 7. Angels, particularly for shamans working in a so-called Christian tradition. The teachers and spiritual guides may appear in a human-like form, or as a light or aura, or in some symbolic sort of form. Power objects figure into it as well. Perhaps a ceramic depiction of a turtle, a bird, a pine cone, an egg, and so on are examples of shamans' power objects, and these have to be periodically fed or re-energized. Well, that'll be all for number 2.